The new production manager makes it a lot easier to find out which materials are needed for making an item. As an example, let's see how to make a black powder rifle. As usual, go in here and have a look at the materials. We need a rifle gun barrel, which in turn is made from a smooth bore gun barrel. And to quickly nail down the items needed, we click this new button called the tracking button. We can see it highlights the item, which we're now tracking with a green color. Up here is an option called in. If I click here, it will highlight all the items that go into making a rifle gun barrel. If we switch to list view, we see the stuff that we already have or can make right now. But if we switch to attainable, the list becomes a lot longer because it now shows all the items that we can make at some point in the future based on the resources we've found. There's a lot of items highlighted in green, but let's hide the other items by selecting AND up here. Now the list becomes a lot shorter. Now, one of the items we need is bug ore, which is the resource for making iron objects. Where can we find it? Well, luckily we now have a new resource display down here, which makes it easy to locate the resources we've discovered. We can see our colonists have already found bug ore out here to the west. We can see some yellow dots that light up on the minimap. We also have another button here called Scan, which can display the resources directly on the game area like this. This icon here. There's an icon here that shows that we have bug ore, so let's gather some. And now we're on our way to making a black powder rifle. It's also become easier to see which component parts are available for salvaging. Let's say that we've got a bolt action rifle which has run out of ammo, and we want to convert it into a black powder rifle because we have a lot of black powder available. To get an overview, we look in the tooltip. We can see that an important component is a rifle gun barrel, so let's track that. It gets highlighted in green, and we can see that we have 2 of those. It says 020. One of them is part of the black powder rifle, and one of them is part of the bolt action rifle. And it says not attainable. But if we go up here and click on the salvage button, it switches and now it says attainable. That means we can get our hands on a barrel if we salvage one of these rifles. So let's select the bolt action rifle and click salvage. Here are the component parts, and now she's already started taking it apart. We can follow the progress bar. Back in the production manager, it now says 011, which means one item is being produced. Now she's done, and it says 110, which tells us that we have one rifled barrel available, and we can then go ahead and use that in building another black powder rifle. Now there's a lot of tools in the game, so how do we find out what the tools can be used for? The new tracking functionality can help us determine that. If we go in here and open the tool section, we find one of the new tools called a metal workers tool set. It is basically a collection of various tools, so it's very versatile. But let's look at how versatile it actually is. So I'll just click track item and it gets highlighted in orange. If we then go up here and click the button that says out, it will highlight the items that can be made using the Metalworkers toolset. Let's shorten that list by clicking and. These are things that we already have. But let's expand the list and look at things we can make sometime in the future. If we click attainable, it will list all the items that can be made based on the resources we've discovered. And all these orange colored items are things that can be made using the Metalworkers toolset. So it is indeed very useful. Now let's look at another way to use filters. If I go up here and select containers, it only lists the containers that can be made using the tool. So in this case it lists a cooking pot. And this is how we find out what a specific tool can be used for.